Hi friends, Tracy.bish here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Welcome to my channel. Now last week I did a video for you showcasing the beautiful City Sites kit from the kit collection. Now it's available now in my online store. Actually, to let you know, all the online kits are on sale this month, 30% off, which is amazing. So I did share with you that kit last week. We created the two different cards. Now the kit actually makes 8 cards, 4 of each design, which they're beautiful. Comes everything included, including the envelopes, the card bases, the embellishments, the adhesives, the die cuts, everything that you need. The stamp set, the ink pad, the little Stamp and Spot ink pad. Absolutely everything, which I love that our kits do this. This is a great way of starting to craft and at a smaller price. So for the alternatives, I've taken the coordinating colours in this set, which are boho blue, early espresso, copper clay, misty moonlight and basic beige. I'm also using the adhesives that were available in the kit and the beautiful embellishments that come in that kit. Now to start off with, I am cutting down the card front. So there's two different designs. We're going to cut, the top and the front and the back of the card kits, and we're going to create some different cards with that. Now I actually haven't even counted how many cards I have created in the alternatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of them. And I've also put, reason why I was counting those is I've got the 2 cards that were created from the kit, exactly how they say to create them. So everything's in the kit to make 8 full cards, or you can use the kit and some supplies that you have and create some as well. So I've got all my card bases ready to go. I have just taken this first design and cut a little bit off, and we're going to actually use both of those for the cards. And I'm rushing to try and get what I want. So with this one here, I just cut off, I think it was probably about 1.5 inches across. And I'm looking at what colors I would like to mat that with. So we went with Pebbled Path, which is a really pretty brown and works really well with the colors in that set. I also looked at the Misty Moonlight as well. And boho blue, so you just got to play around, see what works best. And then I've taken that simple die cut that says thinking of you today. I've taken that and I'm going to use that. So layering the two, the card front over the Pebbled Path cardstock, and then layering that down on the basic white thick card base. And then we're going to take some dimensionals to that little die cut piece and pop that up. Now I haven't added any ink to this card at all, so this is super basic and simple. We've just used a little bit of extra cardstock. There are no embellishments on it, no stamping. So yeah, that is our first one. Now the other part of that card front, we're going to make that with another card now. And I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. Now I want to make that go all the way across my card. And honestly, I'm sitting here doing the voiceover right now. I do not have a ruler with me. I'm just looking at it and I'm not sure. It'll go across by, I think it's 5 7/8. It looks, I have no idea. There's a little bit of area on the top and bottom. But, it's just a little bit matted on our piece of card base. And then I'm going to cut it, and I think it's like about 1.25 inches across. And we're left with 5 of those pieces plus a little bit left over. We can use that on another card, or just scrap it, it's fine. But this fits along really well. Now I thought we could just glue these down across the Misty Moonlight card base, which would look fantastic. But I thought let's pop up a few of those rather than popping them all up. Let's pop a few dimensionals on a couple of them and see what that looks like. And it looks really good. A great way of giving some interest to the card, but it's super simple. Now if I was to do this again, because I'm only popping up 2, I would pop up the 1st, 3rd and 5th panel rather than the second and the fourth panel. And only because, you know, I don't know, I just think that having 3 popped up would look even more spectacular. But what's really great is because that middle one is glued down with just adhesive, when we bring in the happy birthday die cut, I can actually just add some dimensionals to it and it's all the same level across. So it sort of works out by only adding dimensionals to 2 pieces. And this is, you know, the second card. How quick and easy is that? So we've got our little panel there. We've got some popped up with dimensionals, some glued down with adhesive. We're just going to pop it straight down onto a basic white thick card base with some liquid glue. I've just added a couple of dimensionals to that little circle die cut that says happy birthday. You can never have too many birthday cards, that's for sure. And then, you know, you could leave it just that way, or I'm going to actually come in with some of those embellishments that are in that kit. And we're going to place 3 of those. They're like a copper colour. We're going to place 3 of those down on the card. And this is our second one. So again, we've brought in the card base in basic white thick and a little piece of just scrap Misty Moonlight cardstock. So there's card number 2. Alright, let's move on to card number 3. Again, I'm just going to create a couple of card bases here, basic white thick, and we have our second piece of the card front. Now with these ones, again, I'm just cutting off a little bit off the side, so like so, and then we have 2 pieces that we're going to use. So let's start with that slim piece. I had a few ideas that I wanted to do with this one, and yeah, I changed my mind actually a few times with this. So oh, you know what's funny? I think there's 8 cards and I've lost one. I don't have this card that I'm creating here now with me. Okay, so maybe I've made 8 cards out of this. So I've just taken the, in that die cut section, because this is a multi-language section, I'm using the ones that don't say English on them, and I'm cutting them down to create those 4 little banners. So that's used 2 of the die cuts, and I've just cut it down to add the banners. And this piece of the basic beige is that offcut to our die cut. So I've stamped that with I've stamped that with boho blue, and just to grab a little bit more interest. But I wasn't overly happy with it. So here we go. Actually, no, I do really change this card up. So I think we're going back to 7. I'll let you know. So bringing that cityscape stamp in, I want to stamp the edge of the card, and this is along the fold over piece of the card. I don't know if that's how we call it, but I wanted that little section along the side, and I do eventually think that, you know, I want the cityscapes to be on the side of the card. I do change my mind because I really didn't like how it looks. So I'm actually creating these and filming it at the same time. I didn't create them first and then film them. So you're seeing my creative process in the way. So then I wanted to add another strip of that Misty Moonlight, so it goes all the way across the card, and we're going to mat that little piece of DSP, not DSP, the card front that we had left over. And I thought, yes, that looks so good with the cityscape at the top. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to use those little tabs. So I've popped them at the top and thought, no, I really don't like that. So we're going to change it. We're going to pop those little banner pieces to the bottom. But I've also brought in the corrugated blue die cuts here. So there's one banner and then there's one really long one. I wasn't happy with any of them. So what I did is I'm taking the outside edges of the die cuts, so they're just the scrap pieces, and I'm going to use that. So I'm sort of playing around I sort of want to have that somewhere on it. We're going to see that I actually put that at the bottom of, yeah, so on the bottom there, popping our little banner pieces in the side. And at this point I'm still looking at having this layout, the portrait side layout, and you know, whether it's going to work. We've also got one of those happy birthday die cut pieces again, and I'm really happy with sort of that design with the happy birthday. So I'm just going to glue in the card front and the Misty Moonlight card matting, and then I'm going to also pop in all those banners and pop them down onto the card. So at this point I'm still looking at having a portrait style card. So let's add a little bit more glue, like just a little thin glue banner down that side, and we can add that leftover corrugated blue piece that's in the kit. And then I start moving it around. Do I want it portrait, landscape? And I go with the landscape because I thought that looked really good. Then I've brought another piece of our corrugated piece in, and I really like that look. But I'm also thinking, I think I need to keep those. I want to use sort of the edges. So I've chopped off another piece of the edge, and it sort of has the view of mountains, if that makes sense. And I thought that looked really, really good. And then popping up our sentiment piece over the top just gave it a nice little interest without taking away too much. And I thought it sort of covered up the cityscape look that we've popped the circle over. So, you know, it sort of hid that because it didn't tie in quite as much as I really, really wanted it to. So there we have it. That is card number 3. This is our leftover piece that we're going to work on now. And this is the second card front piece that we have from the kit. So a nice big piece. I wanted to leave at least one big piece in there. So I'm taking out one of those cityscaped basic beige die cuts. I thought maybe I could do something with that. I have a little piece of the copper clay cardstock. This is just scrap out of my scrap bin. I'm stamping it with the copper clay ink because I think, yeah, I think I need to bring in some of that copper clay from the card base in. And this is, you know, a really nice way of doing that. So I'm just going to cut this up to be a nice little square. Again, you know, no dimensions. I'm just playing as I go, using the pieces that I have. And, you know, if you have kits in your collection, maybe you don't want 4 of the same card or 8 of the same card. So by watching this, maybe you can see that, hey, I can take that one card and make a whole heap more just with some scraps and some more card bases. And then I'm also bringing in that Thinking of You Today banner again. These worked really well. I was really happy with these banners. And I'm just going to take the edge piece. Again, it's, you know, just the scrap on your sheet. You won't use it otherwise. And but I really liked that look of the banner cut ends. So I'm just cutting these out on each of those pieces, not hurting the banners at all. We're still able to use them. I'm just taking that off-cut piece. Oh, and I missed a bit. And this has a nice little white border as well, which will help to be able to adhere underneath the card front. So it just gives me that little bit more room. And that's a really great, it's a different look with that pattern. Like it's a regular pattern on it, but it sort of looks almost like it's torn, which is pretty cool. So I know that I'm going to add that to the bottom or to the back of our card front. And then I know that I really wanted to use our stamped image of the cityscape and our banner cut there as well. So let's start adding our pieces together. I've just used tear and tape to our card front and added that side piece. I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals, the copper clay card, and just add some dimensionals to our sentiment as well. And on the very left hand side of that sentiment piece, I've added 2 dimensionals, one on top of each other. That way it's all the same height along that card front, and then added three more of those beautiful embellishments from the kit. So that is card number 4. Okay, so now we have the back sides of the cards, and we're going to use those. So one's more of a grey look, one's a basic beige. So for this first one, we're going to use the grey version, and I just wanted that on our card base. I've got a piece of basic white thick cardstock where we're going to stamp a cityscape scene along. Now you can stamp it with the edge of your stamp starting the cityscape. I will show you later on that you can change that look of the cityscape by moving your stamp over a little bit, and you'll see that in another card coming up. But you know, we have this cityscape. Let's cut this down, and I want this to sort of be in the middle of the card. This is actually a really simple card, and what I really like about it is I can change. I haven't put a sentiment on it. I can put any sentiment on there that I like, and it can be for anything, because I think this is so simple but a really great image. Again, I'm using a leftover piece of that corrugated blue that I'm going to use as just an added embellishment to our card front. And then I'm going to bring in some of that pebbled path cardstock that I have. Oh no, I'm not, hang on. We're going back to this image. So we have stamped it in pebbled path. I'm going to bring in some Misty Moonlight ink, and I'm using my aqua painter, and I've just taken the barrel off, so there's not a lot of water there. I don't want a lot of water on this card. I just want it to be able to move nicely over the page but not pill it in any way, and this is a great way of doing it. Just take your nib off, make sure it doesn't have a massive amount of water in it. It's damp, but it's not really wet. And then we're just going to colour in a really cool sky in the background. I'm also going to come in with the pebble path and just colour in some of our towers there, or buildings. Not all of them, because I don't want it to be, you know, all the same. So some I've coloured in, some I've gone a little bit darker than others, and some I've left completely the same. I haven't done anything there. I'm also coming in with the Misty Moonlight ink and that other stamp that comes in the set. It's like little dots, and I've just stamped around the sky as well, so gives it a great little interest there as well. Okay, so now I'm working out the whether I want a portrait or a landscape card. I will say I'm really enjoying the landscape cards, so we'll come back and do that. Okay, so now I've come in with the pebbled path ink, and we're just going to colour in some of the buildings. Some of them are a little bit darker than others, and some are left completely not coloured in at all. And you know, you could change this up with this stamp set. Now I'm really trying to focus on just using the supplies in the kit, as well as basic cardstock, so basic white and some of the colours from the kit. I have got lots of ideas with this stamp set that I really want to do. So if you're interested in seeing more ideas just using the stamp set, let me know, because yeah, I really love the cityscape look, and I do have some great ideas just using the stamp set, not using these colours, but using other colours. So let me know if you would like to see that more. And we're just going to add another little matting layer with the pebbled path here. So right now, throughout the month of October, all month, you can pick up this kit as well as any other kit in the kit collection in my online store. 30% off, which is an amazing deal. And if you're a demonstrator, you get your discount, so your 20 to 25% discount on top as well. So you can really grab some great deals with those kits. And kits are a great gift. So if you have a birthday coming up, we all have Christmas coming up, and for someone who's maybe looking at getting into crafting, this would make a fantastic gift. So here we have our little, I'm still working out what way I want. I do go with the landscape because I really like the layout. And what I figured out is on the bottom of the card front piece, that's where I'm going to stamp my sentiment when I decide what I want to do with this card. But you can use so many different themes with this card. It's a very universal, could be masculine, could be, you know, retirement, could be so many different things, and changing it up with that sentiment. And that is card 5. Let's move on. We have our other card backing, and I'm going to cut this down. So we're just going to cut a little bit off to make 2 card fronts. So not quite half, sort of, you know, a little bit more than half. Okay, to start off with, we have that larger piece. And again, basic white cardstock. I've used basic white cardstock for absolutely all of my cards here. So I've got my layout. I think I want to do 1 landscape, 1 portrait. Let's work on the, I think this is the landscape card that we're going to work on first. And this is also the card that I'm actually not stamping the edge of the stamp. I've moved over, and that's going to give me a different city look. So they're not going to look exactly the same. Just by moving that stamp over a little bit, it'll give you a different look every time. So it's not all uniformed. And I've stamped that with the copper clay cardstock. And I'm going to create a nice background for my card base. So I'm using that speckled or dotted stamp. And we're just going to maneuver it around, try and get, you know, it's a funny little stamp actually, but by moving it around, I'm using also a scrap bit of paper to stamp off some images, so I don't use the whole stamp, but I want to make sure that all around the edges will be covered, because we're going to mat that piece that we've just stamped, but I want to make sure that all the area on the card base around that is completely covered. So you don't have to do the whole card, just, you know, a good majority of it, or do the whole thing. I pretty much look like I'm doing the whole thing anyway. And we're going to use just some scrap cardstock in that copper clay as well, just for a little bit of interest behind the main design. So there's our background. Very cool. And, you know, it looks busy, but we're going to really tie that down once we start adding all our layers. So this is my scrap piece. I'm just going to cut it down to a couple of little strips. And we're going to create 1 long strip that's going to go across the back. And then I'm just going to use this little piece here, cut it in half, and I'm going to create a banner. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I'd have 2 little banners, but I ended up just using 1 banner. We're going to banner cut them off, and, you know, it looks really good. So you don't need a full piece, you just need, you know, just a little bit to pop in underneath. And I really like the look of that card front that's been stamped, but it needed that little pop up as well. So I'm going to bring in some basic white cardstock, just scrap cardstock, and mat that as well. So these are all really simple ideas, very simple layouts. You know, we're not being too fancy. Even a new to crafter would be able to create these as well. So I'm just cutting that matting piece. It is a scrap piece, and it's not quite even on all sides. That's why I sort of move it around and around to try and get the best side that's actually even to start with. Okay, so I've got my piece there, and we can start layering all our pieces together. So with it matted on the white, it really does look good. We're also going to pop that up with some dimensionals, and I'm just going to glue these banner and that long strip down, and those strips really do sort of blend that background stamping down a little bit as well. And then I'm just going to add 1 of those little embellishments there. So cool. Love it. Alright, that is card number 6. Let's move on to the last one. This is card number 7, and that second piece of the card backing. I have that leftover strip that we've popped in. I've brought in our die cut here. I'm going to stamp that with Misty Moonlight ink. And we also have that little banner cut in the corrugated blue as well. So just to break up and add that blue in as well. Okay, I really liked the look of this, but it was missing something. And I come up with this awesome idea of creating a shadow look behind the scene. So we're going to stamp some more cityscapes behind there in basic beige ink. And what it does, it looks like we're actually looking at a city scene, because you've got in the background, you've got more buildings, and I'm sort of off centering everything so it doesn't look like it's the same image right behind. I've moved it around a little bit, so it looks so good. Now, basic beige actually looks really dark there, and when it dries, it'll actually lighten quite a bit. So it looks really good. Like, it looks like you can notice it, but it's not super in your face either. So I'm just going to line all these up. I also come back in and I grab a strip of that boho blue from the die cut pieces, and I add that down the side as well. I just thought it needed something. I'm not sure if I was to do this card again that I would add it, because although it needed something, I don't know whether that is exactly what it needed. But anyway, now I really hope that you have enjoyed these alternative cards. I have loved creating them. It has taken me a little while to do a voiceover for this video to get it out to you, so I do apologize for that. I was hoping to get it out a little bit earlier, but yeah, I've been doing other things. But yeah, let me know if you would like to see some alternative cards just using that stamp set. I actually really enjoy doing alternatives, and I'm wondering whether that's maybe something I should be doing, is getting, there are 2 kits out every single month. Maybe I should be getting 1 kit each month and doing a video with alternatives. And if that interests you, please let me know. I would love to hear that you would like to see that. Don't forget, you can purchase any of these kits as well as the City Sites kit in my online store. There is a link in the description of this video, and I'll have it up on the screen as well. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. I would love it if you hit the subscribe button, and if you have any questions or would like to leave me a comment, I would love that as well. Alright, here's that little strip of boho blue. Yeah, don't know. I don't know whether I would add it again, and I think maybe it needs some embellishments on this card, because I bring in this little scrap of copper clay and I try and add it everywhere, but I'm not real happy with it. I take it away, but I think it may need some embellishments. Alright, let me know what your favourite card is. I really want to thank you for staying with me to the very end of this video, and I'll see you all really soon. Alright everyone, let's bring those cards in and have another quick look. I will try and do a blog post really soon and have all of these up on there. But if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, I will definitely pop them over there in the next couple of days so you can see them a little bit closer. But yeah, let me know what one is your favourite. I think that one there is my favourite. So simple, but really, really cute. Alright, thanks everyone so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye-bye. If you stay watching, I'll actually show you what I have left over for after making these kits. You can there's still plenty. There's still 2 card bases. All the envelopes are still there. Lots of embellishments. There's lots of the die cuts. There's so much stuff. So, you know, I can keep creating. I can create some of the original designed cards as well, because there's still plenty of those available. Alright, so cool. Alright, bye bye.